You wake up, and for about 30 seconds, everything is fine. And then it starts. Not because something happened, not because they texted, not because anything changed, just because your brain came fully online and the loop started running again. You check your phone, nothing. You put it down, you pick it up again. You know this is not helping. You do it anyway. If this is familiar, this video is for you. Because what's happening to you is not anxiety in the way most people use that word. It's something more specific. And once you understand what it actually is, something shifts. Most people who live with this have done the reading. They know about anxious attachment. They know about the nervous system. They can explain the pattern in detail. And then the person they care about goes quiet for 2 hours, and every single thing they know dissolves completely. That's not a knowledge problem. That's not a willpower problem. That's a nervous system running a program that was installed a very long time ago in conditions that no longer exist for a threat that is not actually present right now. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It learned at some point that connection is followed by loss, and it has been protecting you from that loss ever since. The problem is, it never got the signal to stop. There's something I call the morning window. In the first 20 or 30 minutes after you wake up, there's often a kind of quiet. The system hasn't fully loaded yet. You feel almost normal. And then it begins. The scanning starts. The questions that have no satisfying answers start asking themselves again. This is one of the most important things to understand. Fear of abandonment does not need a trigger. It doesn't wait for something to go wrong. It is a baseline state. A permanent background frequency the nervous system returns to automatically, the way a compass returns to north. Imagine a scale from 0 to 10. 0 is complete calm. 10 is full crisis. Most people in secure relationships operate somewhere between 1 and 2. People with this pattern typically operate at a 6. Not falling apart. Not in crisis. Functioning, working, making plans. But underneath all of it, the system is running. Always. The monitoring never fully goes offline. A 6 sustained across years is not nothing. It is the reason you feel exhausted at the end of days that were not particularly hard. It is the reason relationships, which are supposed to give you rest, often feel like the most demanding thing in your life. Here's what makes this pattern so hard to break. The standard advice doesn't reach it. Build your self-esteem. Focus on yourself. Practice grounding. Meditate. All of that is genuinely useful. None of it heals this, because it's all cognitive instruction for something that predates cognition. The pattern was written before you had language for it. You cannot think your way out of it. The analytical mind tries to solve it by analyzing harder. More scenarios, more evidence gathering, more frameworks. But all of that activity keeps the system activated. Because the system interprets sustained analysis of the threat as confirmation that the threat is real. The more you think about it, the more real it feels. That's the loop. Not a character flaw. A structural feature of the problem that makes the most obvious tool you have. Careful, rational thinking, actively counterproductive when applied directly to the source. Now here's something that took me years to understand. The pattern has a source, not a vague childhood story. A specific locatable moment where the nervous system decided that connection is not safe. That moment is still running. It is not history. It is present tense, playing on repeat, coloring every relationship you have ever been in since. The work is not about understanding that moment intellectually. You probably already know your story. The work is about going back there in a different way. Not to analyze it, not to forgive it. To finally let the nervous system get the message that the threat is over. That gap between the trigger and full consumption is where everything happens. It starts as a second. With practice, it gets longer. And in that gap, something changes. Not because you thought your way out, because the body finally got updated information. That is what my book, Fix Your Fear of Abandonment, is about. Not reassurance, not 5 steps. An honest account of what this pattern actually is, where it actually comes from, and what it actually takes to put it down. The link is in the description.